Hi, welcome to Breakthrough Ideas and Training webinar series. I am Cordell Riley, founder of Tortal Training. My pleasure to have you here today. My pleasure also to welcome Jeffrey Gitomer to the session. Jeffrey is a best-selling author, speaker, and founder of Train One. Jeffrey, welcome to the session today.
Thanks, Cordell. How are you?
I'm doing super, my friend, doing super.
Good.
So Jeffrey, for those of you that don't know you, and probably not too many people in this session may have not heard of you before, but just expound upon yourself, your background, and what you do a little bit more.
If you're in training and you don't know me, it's because you deal with the incestuous crap that happens within your own company and choose not to walk outside the door. As a 25-year, pretty active trainer around the world, and a writer and a presenter at global sales meetings or leadership meetings, I think I've established a pretty decent name, yet you're correct, Cordell. I meet a lot of guys that have no concept that I exist. Typically, they're people that are in a, quote, training department inside of an organization, and they train people. I did one talk a couple of years ago for ASTD. It was on the last day of the program, and it was at the end of a hallway that you could hardly get to.
Yeah.
My room was so full of people that they actually had to line up around the wall and then finally open up the door to let people stand in the hallway to listen to what I had to say. So I feel like, and by the way, the person who was right next to me had like 3 people in their room. So I feel like I have a presence, but it's because when I give a training, I'm disruptive. I don't go by the book. I don't go by the traditional sled, whatever the hell it is, because I'm not a sled guy. I don't want to do something the way everyone is. So I'm going to give you, just as an overview, a concept of how I perform training. I try to put in what are known as transferable concepts. So everything that I do can transfer to the audience in a way where the member sitting in the audience says, I get it, I agree with it, I think I can do it, I'm willing to try it. I can't make somebody from the audience go out and try a different way or ask a different question or do something different with their attitude in that session. They have to go out and actually take an action after that.
Yeah.
But if the audience guy says, I get it, I agree with it, or I like it, I think I can do it, I'm willing to try it, that's the Jeffrey Gitomer strategy for creating a transferable concept. Never saw it anywhere before. Seems like the most obvious thing on the planet to me.
Yeah.
I don't need to expand on crap. I don't need to discuss crap. That's so traditional that it's defective. It is a BlackBerry in an iPhone world.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a Yellow Pages in a Google world.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And whoever invented it, God bless them, because it was a great thing 20 years ago, no longer applicable. It take sled and put it by a payphone. That's where it belongs. Dragging down the streets of Manhattan because somebody upped it from the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jeffrey, you mentioned a couple key words there in your opening. You mentioned disruptive. Again, keep in mind, we got a group of training professionals that are on that are maybe in the training department and looking to make their training better. You mentioned disruptive. What does that mean in your words? Expound upon that a little bit.
Most people try to be politically correct and proper when they're in front of a room, and they're not engaging. I walk out to an audience of anywhere between 100 people and 5,000 people, and I better be engaging. People are paying me a lot of money to show up and help them get better. At the end of my talk, they need to learn new things, feel great about being there, feel valued for being there, laugh a little bit, and go out and do something new or better.
Yeah.
That's the event. Training inside that classroom is an event. The question is what happens after that? What's the follow-up? What's the follow-through? How do they help that person the following Monday morning?
Yeah.
What are they doing that's, that's why I've created online. Online is the only way that somebody can now be on demand with somebody all the time on their smartphone or on their tablet or on their laptop.
Yeah. Okay.
But for me to be disruptive, it doesn't mean that I have to swear or use, tacky language, although I do, with permission from, I meet with the executives before my talk and I say, can I say this? And they say, oh, sure. And I say, well, can I say this? And they go, nah, you can't say that. And whatever it is, I respect it.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between the executive that says I can say whatever I want and the executive that says you can't say this, you can't say that. I literally, Cordell, show them my slides. And I'll change words. In a customer, I wrote a book called Customer Satisfaction's Worthless, Customer Loyalty is Priceless. I don't care if a customer's satisfied. People call up all day long griping and then they order something.
Yeah.
That's a loyal customer. They're never satisfied. They will never be satisfied. It's the dumbest measurement in the history of business.
Yeah.
And let me share with you how stupid it is. You ever AD Power Customer Satisfaction Awards? They have it's like
Yeah.
totally 100% bogus. First of all, they're bought. Second of all, they give the award to airlines. What could the category possibly be for airline that someone wins the award? Least crappy.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they brag about it. You see some banner behind the, totally crazy. Okay, so I'll go left of center to catch attention. You know what I mean? For example, I'll show the old way of selling, which doesn't work anymore, and I'll show things like cold calling and overcoming objections and closing the sale. Let me define those all in one word. I click my slide, and there's that red button that says bullshit on it.
Yeah.
And then I say to the audience, wouldn't it be great as a salesperson if you carried this button with you and you went into a meeting and the guy said your price is too high and you bang the button and you go, that's bullshit. and they're howling. They're literally howling. No trainer on the planet's going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason. They have no balls. They don't feel like they can step outside that comfort zone. And I'm going to give you a classic example. I've done many, many sessions of Train the Trainer. At one particular, and I can't name names of companies, it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
But I do a session of Train the Trainers, and I have a whole session on how to be a better presenter through karaoke. I used to sing karaoke 3 nights a week. I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I can get a standing ovation because I know how to perform. It's not a presentation, it's a performance.
Yeah.
So I wrote a whole course on how to become a better presenter through singing a song. And I do it for this 25 men and women in the room. No one would sing. These are trainers. So I had to offer $20 for the first 5 people to come up and sing a song.
Yeah.
When they're done the song, I can coach them privately for a minute and literally triple their front of the room power. Looking at their gestures, looking at how at their eye contact. I live in Charlotte. I don't know how long have you lived here?
I've been here for 23 years, Jeffrey.
Okay, so Nikkio's Rodeo used to be on Providence Road, and they had karaoke every night of the week.
Yeah.
And it's now like a Thai food place or something, who knows what. But I would go, and I was a regular. I actually did consulting for Nikki. And so all the waitresses knew me, I could have my own table, whatever, and I'd sing a song. Well, I'd go on Saturday night, mobbed as crazy. And the place was so crowded that they had a wire where you had to sling the song down. You know what I mean? Like a short order cook.
Yep.
So I'd put my song down and a $5 bill, and I'd sling it down there, and lo and behold, I'm next. Unbelievable. Whole stack of songs, $5 bill, I'm next. And I go up and sing what I wanted to sing. Well, one night I sang a slow song, like a 50s love song, because I'm
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
And no one was listening. People were clanging their glasses and talking, and I go, this is a bunch of crap. I love this song. So I knew the words. The microphone was wireless. I left the stage, and I began to sing to one woman. And all of a sudden, the whole audience stopped what they're doing, and all eye contact was on me because they want to know who's he singing to.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the girl is sliding under the table. Okay, so I learned, and I ran to my computer and started to write that by looking at one, I had the attention of all.
Looking at one, I have the attention of all.
Looking at all, I had the attention of none.
Hmm.
What a breakthrough that was for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
At a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Let me give you the key words. I was sober. So I could, I didn't go to the karaoke bar to drink. I went there to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd sit at my table with my laptop, the Mac, the early day Mac laptop, and I would write. And everyone in the bar would come by my table.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, women liked it because they knew I could read.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, great point. Obviously, you and I are both in Charlotte. I can tell that after this session, I'm going to want to get with you and get your laundry list of bars and restaurants and all of those things. A great place
Okay,
to see in
yeah.
Charlotte. So I'm going to
Two
try to get
words. 2 words. Cajun Queen.
one of my favorites. One of my
Yeah,
favorites.
best food in Charlotte.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey, you do 100 sessions plus a year. I know going out and talking. I heard you mention several businesses that you've consulted with and done
Yes.
things for organizations from a training perspective. Jeffrey, how important is training inside of a company? Companies are talking about we're trying to do this, we're trying to move this needle, we're trying to get here. How important is training inside of a business?
I would say that it's the biggest paradox in the world. Any CEO is going to go, oh, training's real important. Unless we're not making enough money, then we cut that budget.
Yeah.
So the person who says it doesn't really understand the impact of morale.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are not trained to be, I'll give you a fundamental. Why doesn't every company in the country start with attitude? Why are there no attitude courses in America in any corporation? Answer, because training departments don't get it, and their budgets are cut so low that they have to train on their product and crap that doesn't, that you can almost go to Google and get all the stuff you need.
Yeah.
I tell salespeople all the time, if I could Google your presentation, why the hell are you giving it to me? Why don't you just email it to me and say, hey, take a look at my slides. I know they're a little boring. They were put together by marketing. I'm going to give you some facts that are not on the slides, and I need you to study up so when I talk to you, there's impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeffrey, do you see it? Do you see it moving? I mean, do you see more people are really putting a focus that training is one of the key metrics that's going to help get our company, our business, our association to that next level? Is it moving?
No, not really.
Not really.
I think that there's a comeback right now. The economy is slightly better. As you know, Cordell, we've been in the crapper for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And training budgets were cut severely. So were marketing budgets, by the way. Training, marketing, first two things to go.
Yeah.
And now it's making a comeback. There's more meetings. There's more things that are taking place. But the key word now is online. Can I do something online and reach everybody rather than reach 50 people in a classroom?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the smartphone is taking over. All my stuff is available. If you're looking for me, it's Gitomer VT, virtual training, and .com. And a lot of my intellectual property is up there so that people can learn from it. It's measurable. It's trackable.
Yeah.
It's sustainable. It's fun. It's my stuff. There's webinars on there. There's 10-minute lessons, power lessons on there. All my books are on there. So I've found that my effectiveness is better if I can follow up after an event.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it actually will pull through and people will actually sign up and take it. Although even that requires some kind of babysitting.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the person on their own may not take it. Maybe 3 out of 10 will take it. Well, the other 7 are the mediocre people.
Yeah.
They have other things to do. They got to go home, watch something stupid on television, drink a beer, kick their cat, you know, that kind of crap. So, but I'm a writer, so I go home and I write.
Yeah.
You know, when I hang up the phone from you, I have a proposal I have to write. I have a column that I'm working on. I got some ideas that I got to play with. I'm a writer,
Yeah.
and most trainers don't write. They read the manual, and um, it's time for me to deliver something that every person who's listening to this will cringe. Ready?
I'm ready.
Trainer gets up in front of the room and he says, "Okay, everybody, listen up." Seriously? Listen up? What does that mean? That means you couldn't get their attention to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine Bill Gates walking into a room and saying, "Okay, everybody, listen up"?
Yeah.
No, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen. Okay. So they get in front of the room and they go, "Okay, listen up. We have a lot of material to get through today, and I want everybody to," and they've all said it. In fact, they probably say it every single time they're in the room. Do I really care about that? I mean, do I care if that trainer drops dead right in the front and someone's going to go, "Hey, the trainer died. Let's try to get his clicker so we can look at these slides." Because the guy is predominantly, or the woman is predominantly boring.
Yeah.
And if you tell me there's a lot of material to go through, I'm going to get my phone out and immediately start to text my girlfriend or my boyfriend. Now, suppose the same guy comes out and says, "Hey, today is going to be the single best training day of your life. We're going to talk about things that will impact your mind, your family, and your income. So I need you to sit up straight, take out your pen right now, and write one thing down. I want you to write down one place that you got to travel to before you die." And everyone's going to stand up and give their place. And then tell me why. I want to go to Italy because my grandfather, I want to go to the ancient ruins of I want to go to the Galapagos because I like big turtles. Whatever the deal is. And then I'm going to challenge the audience, go home and buy some tickets. Don't tell me you want to go there. Go invest in yourself and buy some tickets. And if there's 25 people or 50 people or 100 people in the room, 10% will go buy tickets.
Yeah.
I'll get emails saying, "Thank you so much for making me buy those tickets. It was an experience of a lifetime. I saw my family, my ancestors, whatever it was." But that's the beginning of my training.
Yeah.
The beginning of corporate training is horrible. To me, it's literally disgraceful. No wonder they cut the budget. It's worthless.
Yeah.
And they try to put in all kinds of shit about measuring. Really, what are you measuring? In sales training, there's only one way to measure it: more sales. We did 1 million this year. We did 1.2 million, in the next quarter. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the training was great, but sales went down.
Yeah.
Seriously? No, it's you either increase or you die. I might also talk about retention. You know, and am I attractive? Did people show up and want to be hired because the training here is so unbelievable? If you think back to the 70s, Xerox had the most world-renowned training on the planet. And
Yeah.
guys would graduate college, spend 2 years at Xerox, and leave. And they could get a job anywhere after they'd been through the professional selling skills training of Xerox.
Yeah. But Jeffrey, that was a great segue into those two openings. Something I know which one I'm going to focus on. The one that says I got a lot of information I want to cover, or here's what's going to impact you and why. I know which one is going to get my attention. Absolutely.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But they don't even think about that. They're looking at their guide, their facilitator guide, and there's no humor whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or little humor. There's all about me, because I'm the guy in front of the room. I'm training. I got this. I got that. It's horrible. They have this inflated sense of self. Now, Cordell, it ain't everybody. There's
Yeah.
good trainers out there. but there's more bad than good. That's what I have found. And when I go into an organization, a training organization, and I talk to them, they're scared of me because they think that somebody's going to look at them and go, "This guy's crappy. I want somebody better in here."
So Jeffrey, you said something I want to drill in on. You said there's more bad than good. What makes somebody a good trainer? So give me some of that. You've talked to somebody. Give me some tips of a good trainer. What makes somebody a good trainer?
Number one, they know not just their material, they know how their material is used in the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want somebody to teach me printing from a manual. I want somebody to teach me printing who's been a printer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's big. If you're a sales trainer and you're not the best salesperson in the room, I ain't listening.
Yeah.
And that's for any salesperson on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't set a record somewhere, or you've been doing this for 10 years, or you've made your 10,000 cold calls, whatever it is, don't tell me about cold calling if you don't make them. And I tell salespeople all the time, if your boss tells you got a cold call, tell them to sit down next to you and have a contest. Let's call 100 people and see who gets the most leads.
Yeah.
And if I get more than you, you're fired.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
pretty ballsy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I look at it from the perspective of there has to be an ability to implement this once the training's over.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, the trainer has to be approachable, friendly, and fun.
Approachable, friendly, and fun.
Yep. When I
Okay.
go do an event for a company, I walk the audience before I start. I'm talking to people, kibitzing around. Now, there's a secret. If you've ever seen my marketing, I wear a work shirt. It's got
Mm-hmm.
sales maintenance department or sales attitude department or customer loyalty department, whatever the theme of the speech is that I'm giving, and my name Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around talking to people. They think I'm a maintenance guy. And when I get up on the platform, I go, "Hey, how many people saw me walking around that thought I was some kind of maintenance guy?" And half the audience will raise their hand. I go, "Why are you prejudging me?" "Oh, wait, in sales, you prejudge everybody."
Yeah.
So I immediately have their thought attention. The trainer must get thought attention. Otherwise, they will wallow in the 3 steps that you got to use. First thing you have to do is, like, I don't have any steps.
Yeah.
I don't want, I'll give you some rules. I'll give you some things you need to follow, but I'm going to do it in terms of your customer, or I'm going to do it in terms of you. And I feel like there's not enough dynamic in the room.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to come to training. Training has a first name in most companies. Where are you going? Blanking training.
Blanking training.
I'm not going to say a bad word, but I think you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So Jeffrey, I want to go back to something you talked about when you were given those 2 openings, and you talked about people write down where they want to go and the why associated. We talked about
Yeah.
the why.
I want the audience to stand up and tell me why.
Yeah,
Make it participatory.
yeah. I love that. I think people get more when they can get involved and really do something, get engaged with it.
And say something personal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
nobody has to think of the answer from a book to make them look bad if they're stupid, but everybody knows they want to go to Ireland.
yeah,
Everybody knows that they want to go back to Vietnam.
yeah. So,
You know,
Jeffrey, one of the things that you talk, our audience, again, a bunch of training people out here are all looking at how they make their craft better, how they do a better job. And I know you gave some great tips already. When I was looking at some of your material, a couple of things that you talked about were, I want to make sure I get this right, the 2 most important words in sales. And I'm going to let you talk about those. But
okay.
there was one reason I'm asking you today, because we talked about the why, and the other one you're talking about you. Because really, for people to really make themselves better, and that's really the goal that while we're doing this, we're trying to
Right.
bring people like yourself to this audience so they can make themselves better. So talk about the 2 most important words in sales and how you think those are relevant.
Okay, the 2 important words are you and why. The first piece of any kind of training is the trainer. 50% of information is transferred because the audience likes the trainer.
Yeah.
If they don't like the trainer, you lose at least half. So I want each trainer to challenge themselves. I have a U test on my site. You can go get it for nothing. And I ask you, what are your qualifications for doing this? I explained earlier when we were off camera, I sang karaoke 3 nights a week for years. And that's where I literally learned the art of performing in front of an audience,
Yeah.
not presenting in front of an audience. It's a performance. And the trainer thinks that because they are the trainer, that they automatically command some kind of respect or attention. And they don't. You earn that. And
Mm-hmm.
you earn it by being approachable. You earn it by being a great communicator. You learn it by giving transferable concepts, and you learn it by being dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody sitting behind a desk with a wrinkled shirt or it's got to be right.
Yeah.
It's show business, and they don't understand. They think it's training. Maybe it's the wrong name for the department.
What should we
Maybe it
call
should
it?
be performance.
Performance? Yeah. So Jeffrey, man, as you were talking about, I'm on performing versus presenting, two big differences.
Huge,
Huge difference.
huge. I don't want a presenter. I want a
Yeah.
performer.
Yeah. So you
And
talked. Yeah. You,
so here's let me go back to the you and why.
yeah.
The trainer must self-actualize first. The trainer must determine whether he or she is literally qualified to go in front of that audience and be dynamic,
Yeah.
transfer concepts, and put themselves in a position where people actually want to go. I tell trainers and leaders all the time, do they want to listen to you or do they have to listen to you?
Mm-hmm.
Huge question. So then the second part of you is the person you're addressing. And if I don't capture that person's imagination, if I don't have that person's attention, if I cannot engage them intellectually and emotionally, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm totally done.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the secrets that I have is I bring my family in to this process. I show pictures of my kids and grandkids and talk about stuff that I do with my family. And people love that because it makes them think of their family.
Yeah.
When I tell you a story, it makes you think of your story.
Yeah.
So if you have kids, then if I talk about my kids, you immediately think of your kids. Who I'm sure you think your kids are smarter than my kids, but whatever the deal is, it's fine. I want you to think about that. Okay, then the second part is why. And I want everyone to understand what their why is. Are they training because they want a paycheck? Are they training because they want to write a book? If they do want to write a book, is the first chapter written yet? Why not? And the answer is because they're pissing their time away instead of allocating their time or investing their time.
Mm.
Why do they need to do more? Why is a question that you ask yourself. The second part of why is why does the customer want to buy? Because if you don't know the why they want to buy, what are you selling for? You may be selling what they don't want to buy. You may
Yeah.
be selling a service experience when all they want is a product and get out the door. You may be trying to sell a product when they're concerned about service.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you may think everyone focuses on price, when in fact they want value.
Yeah.
And most people, the most interesting thing, you train for the moment. So for example, if you're a car salesperson, some guy's going to stand up and say, here's how you sell a car. Really? First of all, I don't want to be sold a car. I want to buy a car. So
Mm-hmm.
a trademarked phrase of mine, trademarked, is people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. You never say to your significant other, honey, let's go get sold a car.
Yeah.
She doesn't go to a department store and say, boy, I sure hope they sell me that dress. No, that's part of the deal. We live in a society where people are trying to sell when the customer wants to buy. Big disconnect.
Yeah.
So if I can find out their emotional why, I'm going to make that sale every time.
Huge.
I'm
Huge.
going to my mom's birthday party. Sweetie, I have something to show you that is double what you want to spend. And you're going to buy it
Yeah.
because you're going
Wow.
to look great in it.
Yeah. Great stuff, Jeffrey. Great stuff. Jeffrey, I want to loop back to something you talked about earlier. You talked
Sure.
about so many of your materials being online right now, and certainly that's one of the big shifts. You hear so many things moving
Huge shift.
online,
No,
go
it's
on.
Cordell.
How's it,
It's the shift.
how's it working for you? How long have you guys been online? How's it working for you?
I invested $400,000 in an online digital studio in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
I misspent, government term, I misspent 250,000 of it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know which 250 when I started.
Yeah.
So I learned a very valuable lesson. Since then, I have made or earned millions of dollars through that online studio. It is what sets me apart from the rest of the training world, because people look at my other trainers look at my stuff, they go, holy mackerel. But I have a studio right downstairs.
Yeah.
I have a videographer and an editor and a sound guy. I go downstairs and shoot. I have a teleprompter. I write my own stuff. I can go downstairs right now, record 5,000 words, and it's up on YouTube in 3 hours.
So Jeffrey, you have a lot of stuff online. Our audience here probably is doing some online training. Give me some tips to make online training effective. What are the things that you have to make online?
Short lessons, 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the most.
Mm-hmm.
Testing of some kind when it's done, so
Mm-hmm.
that and there has to be a learning management system that will document that and let a manager see what's been done, so that the manager can come in or the leader can come in and coach his or her people.
Yeah.
So short and sweet, entertaining, measurable in terms of I want to take a test, and then coachable.
Super.
If
Super.
you only measure it and you don't coach, you've wasted your money.
Yeah. Okay.
And what it means is that the leader now has to be a coach. He can no longer be a manager, or she can no longer be a manager. Someone describes themselves as a manager. I go, really? Of what? Like of the universe? Well, no, I manage 10 people. No, you don't. You lead 10 people. And second of all, they don't want to be managed. They want to be led.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you please manage me? I mean, can you imagine somebody going, hey, I need a manager. No, you need a leader. Somebody that General Patton was not a manager.
Yeah. Wow. So Jeffrey, first of all, you and I could talk all day long here. We're going to have to find one of these bars or something that we can go offline and keep this
Okay.
conversation going. Let me come back to a couple of things, and I'm going to maybe make this kind of our final question here for the
Okay.
time that we're doing with this audience. We got a bunch of training professionals that are out listening, watching this, and now they need to make their training, or maybe it's their performance department, training, performance, they need to make that department better. What are some big bucket
Well,
tips that you would give
okay,
them?
hang on 1 second, Cordell. Let me just go back to that for just a second. Do I want people to be better trained, or do I want them to be better performers?
Yeah, performers. Yeah,
So why would you say I have a great training department when you should say I have a great performance department?
yeah,
I'm performing better. No, I'm better trained. Seriously, like a lion? I got a trained lion. Even those guys perform.
yeah,
They jump through the hoop, whatever. But I want it to be about the outcome, not about the event. Training is an event. The
yeah.
outcome is the performance. What happens when they're done? Okay, so I apologize. Go back to what are
How,
the things that
how do we make it better? How do we make it better? If you had to give some tips to this audience, how do we make it better?
make it fun? I'm not going into a boring training session for all day and not have it and not be laughing and learning, not
Mm-hmm.
simply learning. Because if I'm learning for the first 3 hours and it's dry, I only have so much of attention span. And in today's world, your
Yeah,
attention span is not even 10 minutes. It's not 10 minutes. So it's got to be full of stories. It's got to be full of laughter. It's got to be full of interaction. I want people to get up and perform themselves. You know, I put a karaoke segment into my talk so that the whole audience could understand what performance is. Instead of presenting, I want them to get up and sing a song, something that they all know. Well, in karaoke, you don't even need to know the song words. You just need to know the melody, and the words appear on a screen someplace.
yeah,
So I put the words up on a screen, and the whole audience stands up and sings, and I get two people who want to be volunteers. I don't care if they can sing a note or not. to come up in front of the room and lead their own people. It's incredible. No, people go, I want another one. Let's do another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than sit there and listen to training all day.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, turn to page 51. Okay, I'm turning. Okay, I'm right there.
Jeffrey, fun is huge in getting people engaged. I think it's huge. And I know you started on that. It's huge. Absolutely huge.
I have a good time. When I'm doing this, by the way, just so we understand each other, I don't do this for the audience. I do this for myself.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning. I'm going to have the best time I possibly can all day long, go to sleep at night, get up the next day, and repeat the process. And I'm Northeastern trained. I'm Philly. I'm New York City. And, you cold call in New York City, up yours is a greeting. And I have to live in that land.
Yeah.
I live, by the way, half in New York and half in Charlotte.
Wow. Wow.
So I keep my teeth pretty sharp.
Yeah.
But I also keep my eye open pretty sharp. I observe things. If you look at my Instagram account, which is my whole name, Jeffrey Gitomer, all one word, and follow me if you're watching this, because you're going to see that I do family things, travel things, and business things.
Yeah.
So I post a quote every day. My morning sales quote is, I don't think end of the month. I think end of time. And that way I know that I'm making all my decisions based on what's best for the long term, not for the short quota.
Yeah.
What's a quota, really? It's some arbitrary number that some accounting department pulls out of their butt and gives it to everybody. And we're going to go up 11.2% this year. Really? Where'd that number come from? We pulled it out of our butt, but it seems like a pretty good.
Jeffrey, again, I could sit here and listen to this all day, and I'm sure that our group as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Great stuff. Jeffrey, again, I know you've talked about a couple of places that our audience connect with you. You have a free offer that you're going to make available to our audience. Tell us about that.
Yeah, just email me. My email address is my name, Jeffrey, Jeffrey, at Gitomer.com, and just put ebook, and I'll send you the little ebook of listening, which is, I'll tell you the secret right now. The secret of listening when you're making a sale is not shut up. The secret is take notes. And that way you're forced to listen all the way. So anyway, but the whole book is about that kind of, am I listening to respond or am I listening to understand?
Yeah. Wow.
Big difference in intention. So that'll be a very powerful book for any kind of person in the training business. It's free. Go for it. Jeffrey at Gitomer.com. By the way, if you don't know how to spell my name, Google it.
Jeffrey, thank you again. I'm going to say this has probably been one of our most entertaining sessions that we've had, and all entertaining and informative as well. So thank you for the time. Our audience, thank you for joining us for this Breakthrough Ideas and Training webinar. Please come back for others. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day all.
See you soon, Cordell.
Take care.